Laserwave 8084 here. In this video, we're going to talk about what was revealed early this morning or overnight was Studio Series 86 Megatron, or just say Studio Series Megatron, because there's not really no 86 designation on any of these packages this year that I've seen anyway. So this is our first look at the Megatron figure, not an official reveal. I'm sure that is coming because before I filmed this video, he went up for pre-order on Walmart.com. It's already sold out, just a few hours. Also, Studio Series 86 Grimlock's getting his package refresh. He was still available before I started filming this video on Walmart.com to pre-order. I'm sure those are errors on Walmart's part. They released it a little early. I'm guessing we're going to get like a Transformers Tuesday or something coming up, or a live stream or reveal session or something, and they'll have the pre-orders go up and you can do Grimlock and Megatron. Of course, we also got to see a little bit of Scavenger, Constructicon Scavenger show somewhere. I don't know. But then we also got to see some new Studio Series figure. I can't remember what his name was. But yeah, he's not what's important. This video is going to be about Megatron. Alright, first off, we're going to talk about the good. And really, this figure is exactly... I made a video about a year, by this time last year, when this figure was announced or whatever, or sometime last year. And I said, now they said he's going to be a tank. He can't be a gun. So, what I said in my video was all I really want out of this Megatron is the silhouette of G1 Prime. If you turned off the lights, you just had his shadow, it looked just like the G1 Megatron. I think I said Optimus Prime a second ago, but Megatron. I just want that silhouette. I want it to be clean. I want the tank to not be visible. That's one of my biggest problems with Siege, is that the treads and stuff stick up over his back. I didn't want that. And then to appease with the alt mode of the gun, give us the little gun accessory, and they're doing that. They're also giving us that little sword accessory. Good is, he's clean. He looks like the G1 animation model. He's got a good back. The treads fold right up into his legs. It's a good engineering feat from Hasbro and Takara to do this. And then also his back is clean. He's got the barrel on his back. And I think he's got a better looking back than the Masterpiece did. They accomplished more with this figure here on that. I just think he looks really good. He looks splendid next to Studio Series 86 Prime, next to Galvatron with the Constructicons, next to Megatronus. This Megatron looks to be almost perfection. But the good is he looks great, he cleans up well, looks like the G1 animation. The bad. Well, the bad, there's really nothing that bad to me. I will mention a few things, and they're just nitpicky things. And that is some of the panel lining on his arms, you know, instead of being more clean. I've seen this a lot online as well. But it doesn't bother me. I didn't really notice it, and someone pointed it out. I was like, yeah, but I see the point is when he's in tank mode, maybe it gives a little detail in the tank for the turret. But otherwise, that doesn't really bother me. And then the other bad was the gray color on his shins. It's a weird kind of bluish gray. It could be the lighting. Really need to wait to see that in hand, or more pictures or more reveals of this figure to really get a look at that. The other bad was the fusion cannon. It does look a little awkward. It's not exactly the same as the G1 animation. It is a little elongated in the back. I think that's for the feature of taking the barrel and it goes inside the fusion cannon and makes part of the tank turret in the front. I think so. There's a little concession there, a place to store the barrel on his back in that. So there's that, and then the middle part is not exactly the same, but it's fine for me. It's very little. I didn't really even notice at the start. It looks good. I got no complaints really of that. That's just something I've seen people regurgitate over and over online about the fusion cannon on his arm. And probably the last thing about the bad, and it's not anything bad, I just kind of wish he had more accessories, interchangeable faces or something, so you can get that face look. But I understand Prime didn't do that. Megatron shouldn't either, I guess. Maybe we'll get a damaged version later. You know, they want to milk this. Instead of giving us interchangeable pieces, they're going to make a new mold with battle damage. You know, like they did with the dead Autobots from the shuttle invasion. But that's probably my only other bad. It was just I kind of wish he had more accessories. Maybe give him the gun he uses to shoot Optimus Prime with. that would have been at least one more accessory I think they could have done. It would have been small, and maybe add like a blast effect for his fusion cannon or that weapon as well. This section of my videos is what they should have done. And this is going to be real quick. What they should have done is could have went in the bad, but I wanted to separate it because I don't think this figure would get this much complaints, whining, bitching, moaning, whatever you want to call it, if it wasn't labeled Studio Series. I think that's where the complaints come from, because people say Studio Series is based on the G1 movie. It should be the same robot and alt mode, and it would be in a tank. He didn't transform into a tank in the movie, and that is true. So I think if they just made this part of the Age of the Primes line, but just leaned heavily to G1, he would not be getting this level of, complaints. People will still complain, trust me. Yeah, because everybody, they want their guns. The G1 purists want the gun. I would love to have a Megatron that transforms into a gun, but I just know it's not happening. It's not in the cards right now. So if you want that, you're going to have to hit up Japan and get the Masterpiece version from them, or the third parties from China, the New Age Romulus. You have to get that, but that doesn't scale with the Studio Series 86 Prime. That scales with the Earthrise Optimus Prime, which honestly I kind of like that scale a little bit better. And because it's in the studio, people will say, well, it says it's supposed to be screen authentic. Well, on the back of the Prime packaging, it says big screen inspired scale, detail, and backdrop. So it's not authentic. It's just inspired by. So he can fit in the Studio Series because he's inspired by it. Even though his alt mode is not. It's still his robot mode is. I just think they would solve the problem with a lot of this if they just stuck him in Age of the Primes. But because they're going for that G1 bot mode, he's in the Studio Series. And honestly, in the movie, he transforms into the gun for that big shuttle attack scene. One of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. And wipes out the Autobots and stuff. Yeah, you want to reenact that, but honestly, you could not reenact that with a figure. Anyway, you're transforming a leader class size figure into a gun that no Transformer can wield, not even Fort Max or Scorpion. Oh, Scorpion might be able to hold it, but it's not going to look scale-wise. That's why he comes with his little accessory. So you got to use your imagination and put the little accessory. You can start folding them up and have them shrink down. Honestly, the toy being a gun back in G1 is supposed to have been based on real things you'd find laying around the house. Tape recorders. You had your microscopes. You got your camera. You got your handgun. Just sits there, right? So that is what it was based on back then. It's meant for you to be able to hold. And this toy is not meant to be, the Transformers a whole, but in the animation they made the Transformers hold it. So I'm not too fussed by it. Yes, I would like a gun. So final thoughts. I love the robot mode. Almost perfection. It's an instant buy for me. I love the look of the robot mode. He looks good next to Prime and all of them. He's going to look good on my shelf battling Optimus Prime. So I'm happy with that. And that's why I want them. Most of my Transformers, as you can see behind me, stay in robot mode 95% of the time. There are a few that will transform sometimes and put them in vehicle mode and leave them there for a little bit. Scrapper, he's in vehicle mode. I haven't transformed out of that. I got a few others. Got a G1 Pretender Bumblebee. He's in vehicle mode. Some of my mini bots are in vehicle mode. Point Blank, Road Rage is also over here in vehicle mode. Some I will leave in vehicle mode and fiddle around with them. Some I'll leave. Mostly I'll leave in bot mode. So Megatron is always going to be in bot mode. So he's got his alt mode that they can hold in his little minigun accessory. So I'm very pleased by this. I'm amazed by what Hasbro and Takara have done in the engineering department to hide most of that tank bits into the legs, into the chest, into the torso. You can see just a slight bit on the back of the leg, but honestly, this looks like the back of his legs, in G1 anyway. And that could have been, the gun handle there itself, the grip for the gun. So I'm pleased with it. I'm sorry, he's never going to be a gun again. Last time we got a gun that was a decent sized figure, he looked like a Nerf weapon. And the other time we got a gun that looked somewhat realistic, he was a Legends class figure and was still orange tipped. And that was like 15 years ago. So I'm sorry, they're not going to put up with the chances of a lawsuit and also the fines and all these little regulations that the government has put out for you, they're not going to mess with that. So he's not going to be a gun. Sorry. Well, thanks for watching. Until the next ones. Peace out.